Hi everybody, welcome to class. I'm Professor Lorenz, and welcome. She says welcome to my study, but welcome to class. I hope you guys are all good. We're going to have a very good semester together. Now I want to give you guys a brief video to give you guys the lay of the land, how to be successful in this class and what's going to work well. So first off, and as you guys already know, this is a 4-week class. You heard that, 4 weeks. So we'll do an entire semester. Squeeze that thing down to 4 weeks. It'll go by very quick. So, there's a lot of good things about that, but just a little warning. So, let me give you guys an analogy. So, if you ever had to jump into a cool or maybe even cold pool, there's a couple of different schools of thought how you do this. One is you take your smallest toe, I guess you want your pinky toe, and you dip it in there and you test the water, then you get one more toe, and you ease your toe, all toes in, then your foot, and slowly start going down the steps. You're slowly getting in the water, adjusting to the temperature bit by bit. That will not work in a 4-week class. 4-week class, you go the completely other way, which is you go to the side of the pool or on the diving board, what the heck, right? And you just go for it. You just plunge in and start swimming. Of course, there's a big shock when you hit the water, but there's no transition period, and slowly, so bit by bit, you get in, because in a 4-week class, there's no time for that. Every day in a 4-week class, a lot will happen. So let me give you guys a little kind of play-by-play what the typical week will look like in a 4-week class. Now, of course, you guys have your modules. And the way I'm doing the modules is each day is its own complete little unit. So you'll look like, okay, so here's Monday, here's Tuesday. So on a typical day, like on Monday, the very first thing, the little module for Monday, besides seeing the date there and what day it is in the semester, you'll see your reading assignment for that day. So it's really critical for you guys to get the books in this class. This is a history class. It's built on the written word and our response to the written record. So you'll have your 2 books. You guys are reading Anthony Everett's Augustus, The Life of Rome's First Emperor. There you go. It's a fantastic book. You guys will really enjoy it. He was actually a young man when he came to power, not like we tend to think of people in power in Washington or London or Tokyo or Berlin or wherever, or Seoul, wherever we are in the world. He comes to power as the most powerful man in the Western world as a young man, actually close to your guys' age, frankly, around that time period. It's a very dramatic story. It's a roller coaster of emotions his entire life. Family drama, love, betrayal, war, you name it, suspense, cliffhangers, all of it true and what happened in his life. You guys will really enjoy getting to know Rome's first emperor. The second book you guys need is this one right here, The Human Record. And this is full of primary sources, all about 2 or 3 pages, but based on the actual original documents from the time period in history we're talking about. So those are 2 books. And I also want to encourage you guys, not encourage you guys, just stress, it's critical to get these books. I know there are some classes where honestly you don't really use the books that much. You kind of do, but maybe not that much. No. In my class, you absolutely need the books. They're critical for the learning experience. And if that learning experience is enough for you, you won't pass them. So either way, but make sure you get the books. I have to get the books right away because in a 4-week class, in the first week, at the end of that week, there's already an exam. You've already read a lot of those books. We're going to really jump in. Remember, you guys, you can't ease your way into a 4-week intensive semester, summer class. You just go off the diving board, swan dive, cannonball, whatever is your dive of choice. You get in the water and you swim like mad. And but there's a lot of good things about that. So let me go back. So on a typical day, the very first thing you have is your reading assignment for that day. And the reading assignment, it is pretty significant on a daily basis. So you'll probably be reading, hour and a half. Depends on your reading speed, of course. So you might be a little quicker than that. Probably an hour and a half or so a day you'll be reading. So the first thing in the module is be a reading assignment. There's also an assignment you do connected to the reading. So reading is not simply standalone. You'll do the reading, but there'll be things you do for the reading. And I won't explain that in this little welcome video. Welcome. That's in the following videos. But you'll do the reading assignment, and then you do the little assignment that's, there we go, connect to the reading. And then after that, you'll see lectures. And so it's very important to watch those lectures, engage with them, and take good notes on them. And again, I'll leave all that stuff later on for the syllabus video. But that's typically how it's going to work. Your reading and then your lectures on a daily basis. Now, the good news is I structured the class Monday through Thursday. So that means the weekends, including Friday through Sunday, although as long as you have things due, I typically don't have a bunch of new stuff for those days. I do give you some more time to finish things. But the nice thing is, if you work hard Monday through Thursday, you do get a kind of a break for the weekend. Again, some things are due on a Sunday, but you'll see what I'm talking about in the modules. So, but it does give you a bit of a chance to get some iced tea, sit by the pool, relax a little bit on the weekend, so you're not too overstressed in this 4-week class. But it goes by very quick. So every weekend there's an exam based on the lectures, and you'll see other assignments and modules. But in any case, and you'll see all that right here in the lecture on the syllabus right below this video. You'll see that. Okay, I want to make this short, and so let me say what is very good about a 4-week class. So I've been teaching these intensive world history 4A classes for summer for 15 years, 16 years, I think, something like that. And those classes, by the way, the ones I used to teach, some of them used to be 6-week, and then probably a decade ago they shifted down to 3 weeks, which is crazy fast. Now, you guys are doing 4, but the last 7 or 8 years I was doing a 3-week class. Ooh, that one is even. You think 4 weeks is bad, 3 weeks is crazy. But here is the secret maybe you would not necessarily guess. Or maybe you know, because you guys are informed, you're in this class right now, right? Which semester has the highest percentage of A's among all of them? And it's not even close. Not even close. Intensive summer sessions. You guys you probably can guess where I'm coming, right? Intensive summer sessions. Because you just put your head down, you throw all your energy into it, maybe even short-term memory, and you just work hard, you make it happen, and the grades are the best. The best. So yeah, just commit, jump in. It's a wonderful topic. I love this class. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys. And I'll only give you one last brief example here, and I'll wrap it up with this video. So welcome you guys to class. Two brief examples of what I'm talking about. So, about, 12 years ago now, I think it was, my brother, my mom, and I were on a tour from a university on the Reformation in Europe. So we started a tour in Rome, Italy. We're going to various important sites that explain the role of the early Christian church and development of Catholic Church and some Reformation dissonance and disagreement. Anyways, on a Saturday morning, I think my mom, and my brother and I, 3 of us stay in the hotel room. Somehow we missed our itinerary for that day, and I know what it was. We were scheduled to go to church that day with our tour group. We missed the time. We got up, and the bus had already left. We had some free time because we misunderstood the leaving time. So, like, what are we going to do? Now, I'm a student of Roman history. I had many places in Rome I wanted to visit, but they were not on the official tour. By the way, the tour was great. Our tour leader was fantastic. But we had this little window of time where we missed the bus, so we knew we had into the early afternoon on our own. And something that was not on the tour was the Roman Pantheon, which you'll see that building later on in our notes. And now I was like, I know what we're doing. Let's get a Roman Italian taxi. Let's go to the Pantheon. Pantheon, by the way, is one of the most amazing buildings to survive ancient Rome. It's the world's largest unsupported dome, probably until the 20th century. It's extraordinary. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And it's very, in very good shape. Tragically, a lot of the buildings in downtown Rome have been destroyed. Pantheon, fantastic shape. So we get an Italian taxi. We bargain with a taxi driver. That's a whole other story I won't get into right now. But we get there and we tour the Pantheon. Spectacular. I'm a history geek. I love what I do. I was over the moon. The building is so beautiful inside. Looking at a piece of history more than 2,000 years old. That building was first started by Augustus' best friend named Agrippa. You can still see Agrippa's name in Latin on the front of the building. There's just nothing like this building. It's spectacular. Pantheon. thinking we're inside this building as the place trod by the who's who of many of the greats, the Roman imperial period. Fantastic. Once we toured, we came outside. My mom had some low blood sugar. She was kind of getting worn out. I thought we better get something sweet for her to eat, There's a gelato stand right there in this beautiful piazza or plaza right in front of the Pantheon, right from the fountains there. We went and got some gelato. We're sitting there eating our gelato, looking at the Pantheon, and I thought, does not get much better than this. So I birthed my kids and my wedding and some other amazing stuff. But as far as the historian, just spectacular. So I don't know if you guys have that experience in these 4 weeks together, but I hope you guys will have some amazing events. History is incredibly important, and for you guys too. So I'm going to wrap it up here in just a minute. I'm going to make this relatively short. I want to encourage you guys. So I know oftentimes when you guys are in education, you guys are grinding through your classes with your major and so forth. But what we're doing in this class is important. Our democracy needs your active involvement. Now, admittedly, you and I are small fish in this giant pool of American democracy and the larger world. Of course, we're tiny fish in that massive pond. But our democracy needs you guys, and it needs all of us. It needs our passion, our perspective, and our informed citizenship. And one of the ways we're an informed citizen is to have a working knowledge of how the world has worked historically. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. I'll give you an example. So how does power work? How does that unbridled ambition work? What happens when an individual has unlimited ambition and not a lot of morality to contain that? And by the way, this is not left or right, so don't think this is a tirade from some leftist professor. No, I don't think I fall into either one of those categories, frankly. This can happen both left and right, equally. The temptation of a human being to have access to power and to make everyone salute and do it your way because you're correct did not begin with the Nazis or die with the Nazis or Stalin or Mao. It was all the way back to the human experience. And the one thing in the history is we don't have to be surprised and wonder like, oh, I can't believe this happened. Humanity, as you guys know, we're not all angels, right? Unfortunately, there are some wonderful people out there. But the story of humanity is a wonderful story of the best and worst. And so part of an educated citizen like you and I is that we have a working knowledge of what's happened in the past, some context, some perspective. So you and I, in our very small way, but in an important way, we can participate and we can see things in adversaries and see weaknesses in ourselves too, strengths and weaknesses. Let me give you one brief example. I mentioned like unbridled ambition, power, and no moral center. What happens when a nation, for whatever reason, decides to give that power, maybe out of desperation, out of a crisis, out of not thinking, being aware of it? What happens when you give that level of power to an individual? Well, the ancient history, we don't have to wonder, right? Rome and Greece, but all the world, frankly, can give us many wonderful examples, wonderful, terrible examples of what happens. And example of that would be Nero. Nero, Emperor of Rome, maybe you recognize his name, one of Rome's most infamous, and for good reason, emperors. Nero was 16 years old when his mother poisoned to death his stepfather, who was the current emperor. His name was Claudius. And his mother wanted to make sure that her young golden boy, Nero, as a teenager, make sure that he's the one who's chosen to be next in line to be emperor. She's not waiting for nature to take its course. She decides she has to speed things up because Claudius could potentially go with other sons he's had. And so Agrippina, who's Nero's mother, decides, I'm going to speed things up. I'm going to get rid of Claudius. I'm going to poison him to death. And she does. And so at the age of 16 years old, at 16, Nero becomes emperor of Rome, the most powerful empire in the Western world, Western history for that matter. What happens when you give a 16-year-old absolute power? And his mother is obviously, you know what kind of lady she is. What happens to a boy like that? 16 years old, absolute power. We don't have to wonder. We can read the historic record what happens. Darkness. Not good. So I always want to talk about that, not so much, but just in a sense, but just for us to be aware of these dynamics and participate in that, be educated by that, sometimes entertained by that, but to see the full drama of human experience. And I want to wrap this up. But just, it's a fantastic journey. There's wisdom at our fingertips. There's life experiences. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We can find the best in the arts, science, philosophy, you name it. And we can also find the warning stuff too, is like, don't do these things. These things end badly. Be careful. Avoid these errors. Avoid these mistakes. You don't have to have something bad happen to you every time. Learn from others. And all that is available to us from the ancient world as we study it together this semester. And with that, I better stop right there. Welcome to class, everybody. It's going to be a fantastic semester. It'll be quick. This will be very good. So welcome, everybody. Glad you're with us, and we'll see you with the next video. So take care, everybody.